Why is soda so addictive? Because that's one of the things that I've noticed is like the Coke, the can of Coke. Why can't people quit soda?
So there's a lot going on there, right? So first of all, your brain is crack addicted to sugar. Okay. And your brain is like the little Kim Jong-un of dictators. It sits up there, takes everything for itself. It's nasty. If it wants calcium, it'll strip it from the bones. If it wants amino acids, it'll strip it from lean muscle tissue. If it wants sugar, it will activate certain receptors. I think the one on the back of the tongue is called the RF1A2 receptor, and it will give you a dopamine reward for giving it sugar. It will actually drug you to give it sugar. And the way that it drugs you is it releases a little burst of dopamine, which is a mood enhancer. And so you don't actually like the soda. You're addicted to the soda. And this is by design. There are entire laboratories full of PhDs that are doing nothing but studying the dopamine release cycle so that certain chemicals and certain artificial sweeteners will ding that dopamine receptor and make you feel better. That phone, there is more research done on that phone on how to keep your attention span in that phone by giving you constant dopamine rewards and using wavelengths of light to keep you alert and awake, certain wavelengths of blue light, to raise your cortisol, creating a stress response, and to heighten the dopamine response. So now if you're awake and alert and rewarded, you're going to spend a lot of time inside this phone, this little screen. And so part of one of the challenges that we face is, we were not, I don't believe in evolution, but I'm just going to use this term. We weren't evolutionarily designed, ancestrally designed to spend all of our time inside of this little 6x4 square. And yet we do, because there's so much excitement in there. There's so much of a reward, dopamine reward. There's so much blue light that gives me a sense of feeling awake. And so part of the challenge that we face is, how do we just develop new habits? Like, for example, there is no question at all that sleep is our human superpower. It literally is our human superpower. And if you were to put 100 people in a room and you were to ask these people, I do this with young entrepreneurs all the time, what's more important to you, your health or your wealth, your business or your biome? Everybody says, man, my health is so much more important than my business. Being healthy and being physically fit, or being, not being sick is more important to me than my business. And I'll bring them up on stage and I'll say, what kind of business do you run? Oh, I have a online marketing agency. Great. How many employees do you have? 9. What's your revenue per month? $660,000. What's your average revenue per employee? $72,400. Great. What's your hemoglobin A1C? Their face goes blank. What's your testosterone level? What's your vitamin D3 level? So we know more about the income statement, the balance sheet, and the P&L of our businesses than we do about the income statement, the balance sheet, and the P&L of our bodies. And this is our temple, but we don't treat it like a temple. Right? We let thieves into the temple. We don't put things into this temple that serve us, and we expect it to continue to serve and provide for us. So it's a mentality shift to say, okay, what can I do for myself so I can then do for the rest of the world? And if I had to pick one thing, it would be sleep. I mean, the first thing I do when I work with anyone, an athlete or any of the clients that I'm well known for, quote unquote, changing their lives, the first thing I fix is their sleep.
Is it true that some people can function better off of less sleep and they don't actually pay any sleep debt or long-term consequences?
Yes, there is. There are people that are actually genetically predisposed to better sleep, but this just means that they need less sleep, because the amount of time that you need to spend in bed is related to how long it takes you to get adequate deep sleep and REM sleep. So most people would say, yes, I know sleep's really important, but I don't know why. Right. And so what happens during sleep, especially deep and REM stage cycles of sleep, that's so important? Well, during deep sleep, there's a very specific activity that's going on. First of all, this is when most of our hormones are made. A lot of young menstruating women that have really terrible sleep will be pre-diabetic, even though they're not eating an unhealthy diet. So during deep sleep, there's an area of the brain called the glymphatic system. We all know what our lymph nodes are, because they swell up when we get a sore throat and you touch your neck and it's really sore. Okay, those are your lymph nodes. That's the waste elimination system for the body. In the brain, you have a waste elimination system called the glymphatic system. This is the trash removal part of the brain. It is active during deep sleep. So if you're not getting deep sleep, your brain is not eliminating waste. It's not repairing. It's not detoxifying. It's not regenerating. So why, when you get a poor night's sleep, do you wake up foggy? Well, your brain's inflamed because of accumulated waste. If you actually got deep sleep, you would feel refreshed and focused and clear.
But before we get into that, men, real talk for a second, we are all afraid of losing our hair. And whether that's a receding hairline, thinning at the crown, or just thinning in general, the fear is there. But fortunately, there is a solution, and that would be our sponsor, Hims Hair Loss Solutions, where you could join hundreds of thousands of subscribers who got their flow back.
Hims offers a 100% online process that provides access to a range of hair loss treatments that work, all from the comfort of your couch, making treating hair loss simple with doctor-trusted treatment options and clinically proven ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil that can regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months.
And if swallowing pills is a challenge for you, no problem at all, because Hims also has a serum, spray, and chewable options.
The process is simple and it's 100% online. Just answer a few questions and a medical provider will determine if treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your treatment will be sent directly to your door.
So guys, start your absolutely free online visit today at hims.com/ICH.
That's HIMS.com/ICH for your personalized hair loss treatment options, or you could click the link down below in the description. HIMS.com/ICH.
Results vary. Based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil, prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Thank you to Hims for sponsoring this episode, and back to the podcast.